What's up, guys? It's been like a super long time since I've uploaded any sort of video or anything like that at all. Oh, my friend blew up my window back there. That was pretty cool. But I'll start off by saying I apologize. It's been forever. I haven't felt like recording or doing anything like that. But this is gonna be like a super long-winded video with me doing a lot of talking, just because I'm trying to get the whole channel back up to speed on where I'm at with specifically the E30. So as you can see from the title of this video, I literally sold almost everything besides the engine. So I decided to get rid of the Terminator X, not because there was anything wrong with it. It worked perfect. Like literally I plugged it up, put in a few little pieces of information, and the car started up and firing, and it was perfect. It was great. But more so because of the HCG stuff. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it, it's just not right for me. Not right for this car specifically. Like if it was my only project, sure, it'd be great, but it's not. You know, I have the E36 also to work on. So the goals of this car is just to put it together, be like a sick NA setup, you know, make power, whatever, and just be simple. Just get in and drive it, right? That's not the way the HCG stuff works. It takes like a lot of tuning, a lot of adjustments. I just don't have that kind of time to mess with it. So I wasn't going down that rabbit hole anymore. So basically I did like the solenoid test and all that stuff, and it worked out great. And then like the HCG page just started going like downhill. Like a lot of people complaining, saying, hey, this isn't working right. Hey, this is, you know, too much work, yada yada. And there wasn't much success stories out there. So I just moved away from that altogether, and I ditched it, and I sold the HCG controller, I sold the trans, I sold everything as like a package besides the the Terminator X. I sold that separate, but I sold that whole thing as a package. Someone in like New York bought it. I don't know what they're doing with it now. I haven't seen any posts or anything like that. But I got rid of it all, and I turned around and I got Max ECU. So the way the Max ECU works is it controls the engine. So they have a plug and play. It's not really a super plug and play harness. It's not like the Terminator X where you literally just plug it in and give, you know, 2 wires power or whatever. The Max ECU was a little bit more work. It wasn't terrible though. It was probably like an extra 2 or 3 wires or whatever. It was still pretty easy. It still worked out pretty well. So I got that, the Max ECU, and then I also got the Max ECU DCT harness. So the way that one works is it uses the factory TCU, but it only works on the E9X series trans. So like the DCT trans from the 135IS, the 335IS, and the E92 M3, or E90X M3, sorry. So it works with that trans. It plugs up, it goes, uses the factory TCU. Only real things you have to change on it is like the torque table. So it's just like a big table that you change, you know, how much power your car's making, or how much torque your car's making, sorry. And that dictates like the line pressure or the clutch pressures and stuff like that. So that's how you would change the drivability and stuff. It's a lot less work than the Max ECU setup. So I got that stuff, than the HCG setup. So I got that set up, it's in the car. It's just been like a super long process for everything, especially after completely changing everything and starting from scratch basically. So the car is back together now. The ECU's in there, the trans in there, everything's together. I've been through like a couple iterations of different line setups just because I over torque things and I break a lot of things, so it's been like probably like at least 3 or 4 fittings I've broken. So that's set me back a good amount. The interior is almost done. The car runs, it drives too. It's not perfect yet, so you have to, the instructions say that you're supposed to dyno tune the car, like get the engine perfect before you do anything with the torque table. So that's what I've been trying to do. Is turn around and get the engine tuned, and then start messing with the torque table on it. But yeah, I'll do like a quick walk around of the car, just so you can see where the car is at currently. And if you guys have any questions about the current setup, because I know you guys had a lot of questions about the HCG stuff, but obviously I didn't go down that path anymore. I got rid of it all. In my opinion, the Max ECU setup seems a lot easier. Literally, they have like a harness, you plug it in, and start the car. So it's been smooth so far. We're gonna start messing with the actual trans stuff very soon though. So I've driven in the car currently in its current setup, like without really messing with the torque table much, and it's not terrible. It just needs adjustment, right? But yeah, it seems like it's gonna be a lot of fun though once it's actually dialed in, you know. All right, that's all the talking I'm gonna do. If you guys have any extra questions, make sure you just comment down below. Make sure you guys like and subscribe, and then I'm gonna go through the actual car now. Alright, so that was just a quick walk around, I guess, of the car currently and its current setup. And I'll just run through what all has changed on it. So the wheels are now on the car. They work, they roll, whatever. And then, so the interior, it was like originally like a cardinal red mix, something or another of interior. So I went ahead and I traded the original M20 or whatever engine comes in this stupid thing for black interior. So I had there's a local guy. I traded it all for him. There's almost everything here. There's like the actual glove box is missing. I think that's really about it. And then the headliner is still the original. It looks awful. It's like a gray or whatever. But the dyed carpet's in there. I mean, everything's almost in there. It's not put together, honestly. It's still a couple miles off from being completed interior-wise, but most of the stuff's in there, so it just needs to be cleaned. I need to get like a new dash cap because the current black dash is cracked, but it's like $1 million for an uncracked dash, and I'm not open to pay for that. So the seats, they are whatever you call them, the E30 sports seats or whatever. They were originally tan. We ended up dyeing them. They came out pretty good. They're not like the best thing in the world, but I only paid $200 for them, and there was very little tears or anything like that. I used like a leather filler, crack filler thing to try and fill any sort of cracks that were in there, and it worked out decent-ish. It's not perfect, but like I said, a good set of black sport seats is probably like $1 million. Or yeah, I wanted Vader's, but still, there's not much out there on the market really. So I put these in here just because it would fit the time frame of the car better than anything else. Back seats are black. The rear deck we ended up staining because it was also, I think it was red, I can't remember, but it got stained black as well. So interior needs a lot of work still, but it's getting close. My next project, I guess, after we get the DCT trans stuff working well, is to finish putting the interior back together. It's a pretty big mess. I'll flip it around here. So all those wires and everything, I gotta figure out what I'm gonna do with them. Some of them I have to figure out what they even are to begin with, because there's just a lot of stuff. But the shifter's in here. Looks pretty cool. I mounted it to the chassis. It should fit well. And I bought like a new leather surround, I don't know what you call it, but I bought a new one. So that'll fit in the E30 center console, and it should work out pretty well. All right, let's talk about the engine bay. I don't really know where I left off. I don't remember anymore. I have to go back and look. But I have a Chase Bays power steering reservoir. It works pretty well. I made lines for the power steering. So far they haven't leaked. I was really worried that they were gonna leak, but so far it's fine. What else is in here that's interesting? The master cylinder is a 19 millimeter. That's from like an old Volkswagen. It seems to be working okay. I'm not sure exactly yet. I also have the AC compressor over there. I don't have any lines hooked up to it yet, just because I don't. There's other things I can do before I mess with AC. That's just like a luxury thing. Headlights are in. There's an oil cooler for the trans. I think it's really only interesting stuff from the actual engine bay. Nothing else is really interesting up here. Just normal LS swap stuff. All right, let's talk about the wheels. So, man, that was a pain. So when I put them together, I didn't realize that they had different offset faces. I thought they were just straight, I don't know, what do you call it? The opposite of staggered. I thought they were the same front and back, but they absolutely are not. So I ended up having to take the wheels back apart, not all of them, just 2 of them, and swap the faces on them. I didn't have to like take separate the barrels or anything like that. I ended up just taking all the air pressure out of the tire and removing the stem and everything, and then unbolting the face, taking it out, swapping them, bolting the faces back together, put air back in the tires, and none of them have leaked so far, so I think I should be good. Also for the brakes, I went ahead and 5-look swapped the front and the rear. Using the rear is the SRS E30 kit, and then the front is the IRP E30 kit. So the front brakes are now the 330i calipers, and then the rears are just regular 325i E46 calipers. So the disc sizes between what was on here and the new stuff is insane. There's a huge difference. I don't really know how well it brakes yet because I haven't really driven it faster or anything like that, but I imagine it's going to stop pretty well compared to what it was before. The pedal feel on it, I don't think it's perfect yet. I don't know. I used the Harbor Freight, like the little gun or whatever, to pull the vacuum on the brake lines, and the fronts always had air in them no matter how long I pulled on them. So I don't know what it was, but if I brake, there's no leaks or anything anywhere. So I feel like if I brake hard, that it should be leaking out of somewhere if there was an actual leak. I don't know if the tool just sucks or what, but I'm not sure. And then the only other real thing to discuss is the coilovers. So when I put the car together, I put it on the ground, you know, yada yada, and the front end was just like way low because of the LS engine. It's just way heavier than what was in here before, so it just looks stupid. And I couldn't get the wheels to fit with the fenders on because it was just that dug down low. So I got the coilovers on here, and everything fits now. I still haven't put the fenders back on, but they fit. I tested that, so that was nice. I didn't plan to put coilovers on here, but it was just, it is what it is. They're on here, they work, whatever. I can't really tell you how well they work so far. Like, they're silvers, they're supposed to be pretty good, like comparable to BC, or maybe a little bit better than the BC, low-end BCs, but we'll see. So those are on there. The only thing on the car that I probably didn't record previously, sorry, I know I didn't record previously, is the exhaust. So I bought the CX Racing kit, but I only bought the Y pipe or whatever. I didn't buy like the full exhaust all the way back. So I only bought the Y pipe because I was gonna make my own. So I turned up and built my own exhaust. It's just like the Vibrant Ultra Quiet Resonator or whatever. So without the exhaust, the car sounded amazing and like cammed hard, whatever. With the exhaust on, it doesn't really cam as hard, but it's way quieter. It's still rowdy though. It still sounds good. Like idle, it's pretty quiet, but once you get on it, it's loud. But it's just a 3-inch all the way back to the Vibrant. That's a black I just got a black one because there really wasn't much out there like option wise, just because I guess all the COVID stuff, low stock on everything everywhere. So that about wraps up the car for now. I'll go ahead and turn it on just so you guys can hear it idle, since you probably never have with the full exhaust or anything like that. So I'll get in there, start the car up, let it idle, and that'll be the end of this video. And then the next video will be hopefully dynoing the car and getting it dialed in, drivable, and then finishing out the interior, and then maybe the car will be done for now. All right, thanks for tuning in, guys. Make sure you guys like and subscribe. I'm gonna be trying to do more videos. I know I've said this before, but it's winter time, so I have more free time. So that's my plan. All right, thanks, guys.